Last week, I gave you guys the absolute best console settings for Modern Warfare 3. Now that the beta is live on every system, I'm going to be giving you the overall best settings to be using regardless of the system you're playing on. If these settings do help you out in any sort of way, click that thumbs up button. That'll help push the video. It'll give us more exposure, and other people looking for settings can find this video. And if you guys want to see some more Modern Warfare 3 content from this guy right here, make sure you guys subscribe with those notifications on. Without further ado, man, let's just get straight on into it. Starting with the controller settings, I have a scuff controller, so I got a paddle right here for jumping and a paddle right here for slide canceling. So that allows me to keep my thumbs on the analog sticks while I'm trying to aim rather than jump. Go slide over here, I get to keep my thumbs here. So with that being said, I do play on a default button and stick layout. I don't flip my triggers either. That's all personal preference. So if you guys want to change them, go right ahead. Controller vibration, turn this off. Every settings video I make, I say that because it's ruining your aim. You genuinely just don't know about it. Your controller don't need to be, why is it doing that when you're firing your weapon, bro? It's kind of weird, right? It may take some time to get used to if you've had it on for a long time. But in the long run, it'll make you so much better of a player. It'll help you land a lot more of your shots. Now for the dead zones, left and right minimum are all based off your controller stick drift. So for the left, I have none. I like to keep it at a 7 as my default. For the right one, I don't have any either, but I like to move it up a bit, and that helps me with my accuracy because it makes it a little bit more stickier, and I can kind of just, I barely have to move my right analog stick, and it's just very, very slow. And for me, that just helps me land a lot more of my shots. So I like to stick to a 20. I recommend trying it out. I read my comments, and a lot of people actually really, really dig the 20 right stick. If you have to crank it up more because of your stick drift, go right ahead. But your left and right max should be 100 regardless. Your left and right trigger, make sure this is 0. If this is anything above 0, you're gonna have a delay in your triggers. For our aiming and controller settings, I play on a 6.5 sensitivity. Horizontally is a little higher because I'm always looking left to right to see where the next enemy's at. For vertical, I'm not always looking up and down, all right? So that's why it's a little bit lower. This just works best for me. Is this the best sensitivity for everyone? No. Can you start here and then, you know, work your way around it? Maybe bump it up a little bit, lower it? For sure, I recommend that. Now, my ADS sensitivity multiplier is actually lower. So on MW2, I do play on like a 0.90, I believe. Well, in this game, the aim assist to me personally feels a lot weaker, so I gotta knock this down a little bit. No problem with that. And that's just gonna make my aim a lot more stickier and help me land a lot more of my shots. So I brought it down to a 0.85. Sensitivity multiplier for these things, left default, didn't mess with it whatsoever. Same with this, left that standard. My tactical stance sensitivity multiplier is a 1. This is kind of like when you're sliding and hip firing. It's going to be a little bit higher because I'm kind of zooming past people. So I don't want it to be too slow or sticky, so I just kept this normal. My aim response curve type is dynamic, and I have it a 1 for the curve slope scale. If you're not playing on this, you're missing out. It's the best. ADS sensitivity multiplier focus. This is for all scopes. So if you're a sniper or whatnot, I do crank it down just a notch. And this still allows me to drag scope if that's what I'm going to do, or for those of you who like to drag scope or whatever it may be, it really does help out. Moving on, target aim assist, have this on. Now, aim assist type. So a lot of people like to go to Black Ops. For me personally, it's a toss-up. I could play Black Ops. I played Black Ops for forever. I don't know what it is, but default just feels better to me personally. It's what I was playing on an MW2. So if you guys were still playing Black Ops in MW2, maybe you should stick to Black Ops because honestly, it feels the exact same. The aim assist is a little weaker, like I said, but when it comes to these two, I could barely tell the difference. I did experiment with both of them, but I ended up just sticking with default. And then moving on to gameplay controller settings, automatic tactical sprint. So instead of having to press down and then move up on your moving stick, all you have to do, just press up on the stick and you're going full speed. So it takes less time to be full speed. It's a lot more practical and a lot easier to do so. So I think at default, it's like automatic sprint or maybe off, but you change it. It's gonna drastically change your movement. Everything else here is pretty much standard. Oh, invert slide and dive behavior. I play on standard. MW2, we're on inverted because I'm dolphin diving around. There's no slide cancel. Well, now that there's a slide cancel actual movement, I play on standard. So that's tap to slide. Again, makes things a lot more easier and quicker for me. After that, everything else seems to be pretty default. I don't mess with any of these other settings here. Make sure you have tap to reload on instead of prioritize interact. This is perfect for like Warzone when you want to spam loot, but we're not doing that. Tap to reload makes things, again, a lot quicker, a lot easier. And then scrolling down to the settings, everything's pretty default here. I didn't mess with anything here. Now I'm gonna quickly fly through the graphic settings because they're basically the exact same from the MW2 graphic settings, minus a few of them. And this is going to give you a huge boost in your FPS. So your game is going to feel silky smooth. It's unbelievable. So again, everything is pretty much the exact same. I think we have to, yeah, there you go. We got low there. 100 on the fidelity cast. Everything's pretty much the exact same. And I mean, I'm getting like 200 frames on high rise, which is unbelievable. So copy those down for the highest FPS possible. And then here are the graphic settings for view. FOV, I play on a 115. You could do whatever you want. I personally just feel the best on a 115. I know I'm literally 5 points off 120. Make sure you're unaffected. It literally just reduces the recoil visually on your weapons. My weapon field of view is wide. Basically makes my weapon look smaller, and that just gives me more room to see things around the map, see enemies and whatnot. You could do default, narrow. This just makes your weapons a lot larger, which I don't care for. Weapon, world motion blur, turn this off. Your game's gonna just, again, look blurry. It literally adds a blur to the weapons in the world. Why would you want that? Turn that off. Film game off. It makes your weapon and game look just, everything's just a lot smoother. First person camera movement, least. There's gonna be less camera movement. It literally explains itself. When it's least, there's the least amount of movement. Again, the game is going to look and feel and play a lot smoother. Inverted flashbang is on. When I get flashed, instead of my screen going white, it goes black. And I feel like it really reduces the effects for me personally. And I don't feel it. The hard abbling, I don't want to deal with that. So those are my graphic settings. Moving on to my audio settings, I play on a headphone bass boost. Son, I've been having a hard time hearing footsteps almost all year, and this hasn't been an option. Now that it is, it's the go-to, man. I feel like I'm able to hear so much better. I got stereo. We got master volume is 14. I have this on because it is super loud in my ear, so I have to knock it down a notch. Gameplay and cinematic music. I don't care for the music. I want to hear footsteps. I want to hear call-outs. I want to hear all that. So none of that matters to me. Voice chat, it's super loud. I have it down to a 4. I don't care about that. Effects, this is, you know, footsteps, all that. Super important. Got to be 100. Dialogue, calls out for the UAVs and stuff. I don't need it 100. I need it just loud enough so I could just hear it, and that's literally it. So when you know there's an SAE, you get inside. UAV, maybe sit back a little bit and whatnot. So that's why I have those changed to the way I do. And then I think everything else is pretty much default. I don't really mess with any of this. My mic doesn't even work in game chat anyways. Mono audio, make sure you turn this off. If you have it on, the left and right channels are going to be merged. So it's gonna be hard for you to tell if footsteps are coming from your left or right. If you have this off, then it's separated. Reduced tinnitus sound, have this on as well. That reduces the sound of the concussions and flashes. So you can kind of get out of harm's way. You'll be able to hear footsteps or whatever it may be. Juggernaut music, I have this off. The hit markers I have on Modern Warfare. And yeah, very straightforward. That's the audio settings. And then lastly, we have our interface settings. I have all subtitles off. I don't want random nonsense on my screen. Color customization. If you guys want your games to look beautiful, super colorful, like your boys right here, go down to color filter settings. You want to do filter 2. In last week's settings video, I messed it up. I had it on world. You want to do both interface and world. And then world color and interface color, max it out to 100. All those colors that are dull are going to be brightened, a lot more vibrant. Game changer. You're going to notice a difference instantaneously. Amazing. And then for these up here, you guys can mess with whatever you want. I have mine on custom. I don't mess with any of that. But yeah, you can mess with this, do whatever you want right there. And then moving on, HUD bounds. I didn't go over this last week. I apologize. Basically, this brings your mini map, just your entire HUD, center screen, brings it in a little bit tighter. So if you want to see how much ammo do I have, am I close to my field upgrade, am I close to my kill streak, red dots on the mini map, they finally work now. Rather than having to look further off your screen, you can kind of quickly glance a lot closer and then glance back to the center of your screen. Very, very minimal changes here, but game changer. It's an absolute game changer. Rather than having to look a lot further top left corner, you can kind of look a lot closer to the center of your screen for information. So that's why I have mine tighter. Square minimap shows you a lot more. You should not be doing around. Minimap rotation's off. The horizontal compass, I don't use it to call out or anything. It's just useless to me, so I just turn it off. It's just nonsense on my screen. If you like to use it, keep it on. We got crosshairs on, hit markers. I do abbreviate for the player names. Telemetry, this is going to show you your packet loss. If you guys want to turn these on, go right ahead. And then hide setting, yeah, turn this off. Gameplay tips, turn this off. I don't care for that. Tool tips off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have our account network. I don't know why you guys would care about this, but here's all that as well. You guys can, mess with your in-game notifications if you don't want to get any of this while you're in the middle of the game. But that's going to wrap up the settings. If these did help you out in any sort of way, again, click that thumbs up button so other people can find this settings video and it can help them just as much as it helped you. Comment down below what your guys' settings are. And if you made it to the end of the video, I want you guys to comment down below best MW3 settings. I've been liking and hearting your guys' comments, and I'll see you in the next upload. Only if you guys are subscribed with those notifications on. All right, you guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.